Hey guys, welcome back. I'm sorry I didn't do a YouTube video last week. The week kind of flew by, and by the time I realized I didn't do video, the week was over. So here I am now. I'm just working on some press-on nail orders. So I thought I would sit and chat with you guys while I do that, because we've got some stuff to catch up on. I'm sorry if the lighting's not so good. It's like a really gloomy day today, so my house is a bit dark. If you don't follow me on TikTok, then we've really got some stuff to catch up on. But I'll just give like a brief rundown. Essentially, things have like not been going so well for us financially for a while. And like as a content creator, the money just like hasn't been there. And from a lot of people I've talked to, they're also kind of struggling with the same thing, but it's also like confusing because I see other people seemingly doing really well, but again, like the internet's a little lie and who's to really know, and I don't know. But anyway, that's been really hard because this has been the way I've made my income for the last like 8 years. And that's crazy to think about, but it's also just like the reality. And the last year was so horrible that like Ted was basically fully supporting us, and that if it weren't for him, I would be living on the street in a box with all of my perfumes. But a couple months ago he lost his job. So it appears the economy is horrible. It's been really difficult, and it's also just been like a time where I'm like feeling so insecure, because it's just hard not to tie your self-worth into your career. And especially when your career is personality based, like when it's not going well, it's so hard not to be like, oh, well, it's because no one likes me and no one sees the value in me, etc., etc. So I've been working on that, but it's been very hard, and it's been a very financially insecure time. And just an insecure time all around. And I really hesitated. Basically this all kind of, I posted like a video of me crying in my car on TikTok, just in like a kind of a weak moment of just being so fed up and tired of kind of like pretending like everything was just fine. And I was really embarrassed to post it, but I just kind of did it in like a sort of fuck it moment. And the response I got was like so kind and so just understanding. And it just made me realize that like this isn't specific to me or my industry or being a content creator, which I was afraid people would be like, you know, people love to just hate on content creation as a job in general, and like to think that it's not a real career path, or that everyone who does content creation is just vapid and you know, a waste of space or whatever. But it turns out everyone is kind of struggling right now, and I don't know what this means for like the future of content creation. Like, is it just a bad time? Is it moving away from being a viable career path? Is it that I'm, you know, too old according to this industry, that I'm like, you know, not in my 20s anymore and therefore have nothing valuable to say? You know what I mean? It's like people are still watching, but brands are not really paying anymore. And I'm, you know, I could just keep hearing that it's like not just me, that it's happening to so many people, but I'm also like, Well, some people are doing well, and those people are young and skinny. Anyway, but I'm just kind of like at a point where I'm like, well, what's next? Because, you know, I never really knew what I wanted to be when I grew up. You know what I mean? I've always had like so many aspirations and interests and hobbies and things like that. And, you know, I was really into photography in high school, and I went to community college after high school and studied photography, and I was like, I'm gonna be a photographer. And then I said, you know, a couple of years later, I said, no, actually I'm gonna go to school for fashion design. I'm gonna be a fashion designer, because I like had a blog and I was like obsessed with Mary-Kate and Ashley, and I was just like, this is my path. And then a couple of years into that, I was like, actually, what the hell? I'm not gonna do that. And so I was working in retail, cosmetic retail, and I was like, I'm gonna be a makeup artist. And then I didn't want to do that. It's like all of these interests I have, I kept being like, okay, well then I'm gonna make that my career. And then the second I tried to make it my career, it was like, actually, I don't enjoy this as my career. And so I like technically went to school for like 5 years, but do not have a degree to show for it. And then I just kind of worked like odd jobs that paid literally nothing. When I tell you my last paying job, like outside of content creation that I had, paid me $35,000 a year. Full time. So I just haven't had like a career until I became like a content creator. And I felt like, wow, here's this job that I was like a hobby that I didn't even know could be a job, and then it became a job, and then it was like, wow, I can work for myself and I can incorporate all of my interests into this and not have to kind of pigeonhole myself into this one thing. And that was like really cool and awesome, and it still is. Like, I love doing it even if I'm not getting paid, but man, I want to get paid. So that's kind of the situation I'm in. So now I'm kind of like, okay, well, what am I gonna do now? Because we kind of live in a world where we can't have one income per household unless that income is like a lot of freaking money, which most people don't make. So I really want income. I like making money. I haven't made money in a while, and I'm just trying to figure out what the next thing is. I don't want to give up on content creation. This isn't me being like, I'm going somewhere, I'm leaving. I did it for many years for free before it ever became a job. I'm like still doing it. I still really enjoy it, and I do hope that there's like a potential for something else or for something to change. It is always changing. So I don't know, I'm not giving up. I'm still holding out hope. But yeah, in the meantime, I'm just like, what am I gonna do? Because here's the thing, even if this picks back up and it starts being lucrative again, I don't like this feeling of all my eggs being in one basket. You know what I mean? That if, you know, we have a bad year and brands aren't paying what they were, that I then don't have any income. You know what I mean? So I want to figure out ways to like diversify my income. Now I'm selling press-on nails, which is going okay. It's going okay. But, you know, and I have my ceramics, which again, no one ever said to get into no one ever said to become an artist for the money. I'll just put it that way. But anyway, these are, I'm diversifying my income, right? Anyway, I'm really strongly considering getting my nail tech license, because I've been applying to jobs, just kind of like odd jobs, and none of them pay well. But aside from that, no one's paying me because they're not hiring me. I feel like I have like no qualifications. even though I know that's not true, like even content creation has given me a lot of skill that I could apply to a job in like content marketing or whatever. Either way, they ain't calling me, okay? My phone's not exactly ringing off the hook. So I just want to feel like in control again. And here's the thing, it's like I love doing nails. I'm really good at it. If I got a license, I could start taking clients. And the thing that appeals to me about that is that I'd still work for myself, and I could increase or decrease how much I work depending on my needs at the moment. Now, all that's to say is, let's assume everything goes well, I get a bunch of clients, whatever. Like, all of that takes time, which is why I haven't just like immediately done it when I started talking about it a while ago. Because it's money, and even though it's like, you know, it's like a few months of school, it's still a few months of my time, it's still a few $1,000s of, you know, money that we really don't have right now. And I don't know, I'm kind of having like an identity crisis about it, because like I just didn't anticipate this being a career path. And so it's a little bit of like just trying to wrap my head around it. But I really do enjoy it. Like, I really love doing it. I do my friends' nails and stuff, and I'm like, okay, what if I did this, but for money? Yeah. So anyway, I've decided I think I'm gonna do that, but I'm feeling like kind of weird about it. It's not this thing of like being like, woohoo, yay, I'm like following my dreams. It's like, oh, this wasn't my dream, but it's just kind of something that I like, and it's like a viable option. So I don't know, here I am. Now I'm just having trouble finding a school that I like. So there was one semi near me, because LA is like a very big city, but you would think hundreds of nail schools. I'm really having trouble finding something good, because you know, they're not, turns out, not all created equal. But I don't really care so much about the quality, because I'm like, I kind of just want to get it as quick as possible, and I want it to be as cheap as possible, and then I just want the license, because I already know what I'm doing. I'm not saying that I have nothing to learn by any means, but I can always continue to learn, but I need a license to start doing nails on the public. So I already know how to do nails. I just need to pass, you know, the board or whatever. So that's kind of my main goal. And I found a school near me, not the best, but it's $3,500, and it's a 10-week course. Perfect. But they don't take financial aid, and I've already like looked into financial aid, and I'm pretty sure I would qualify for a grant, which is great, because then I wouldn't have to pay for the school. But they don't take financial aid for the manicuring course, and it would have to be cash. So that's the downside there. The other downside is when I called to be like, well, when does your program start? They said next week. Okay, well, I'm not prepared to start next week. And then I was like, well, when's the one after that? And they said, I don't know, TBD, just depends on demand. So, okay, there's that. So there's another school downtown that is like really reputable and good and accredited, and they have like teach more modern ways of doing nails. It's a 5-month course. It's $5,000, but they do accept financial aid. I don't know when it starts or when their program starts, I haven't like called them or anything. This is just information I was able to find online. What I'm struggling with is I don't want to wait 5 months. It is cool that they teach like more stuff and more like modern techniques and stuff. However, I just don't know how important that is to me at this stage, because again, I could already be a practicing nail tech if I just had the license. Like, I already do nails. I'm already good at it. I already know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? It would take 5 months. So let's say I'm not even going to be able to start making money doing that for like 6 months, depending on when that thing starts. Plus side is though that I could probably go for free, or at least partially free, depending on what I'd qualify for. Yeah, a bit of a pickle, because the other downside is of the other school is like, okay, well, what if that one doesn't have another course for 2 months? Like, she couldn't even give me an idea. Like, she was just literally like, we play it by ear. I wish I could just like take a test, but anyway, so I'm like, what if it takes me 5 months anyway? I don't know. I need to do some more research. If you're LA based and you have your nail license, where did you get it? Please tell me. And also I'm like, should I be having an identity crisis? And also, if you live in LA, would you come get your nails done from me? Yeah, so that's just like how I'm feeling. I'm not like exactly like, woohoo. I'm kind of like, the thing is though, it is really nice to have something else. It is nice that it's like, hey, things are going badly, or hey, I want to save up for this vacation. Like, it is nice to have a different stream of income that you can kind of lean on. You know, what if I retire one day and then I'm like, well, I still want to work a little bit. You know, I have my nail license and I can do nails. Not like a bad thing. It's not like I'm going back to school for 4 years and spending tens of thousands of dollars. You know, it kind of feels like no harm, no foul. And even if I do it for like the next year and then I decide I hate this, ultimately like wasn't too much skin off my back. So it feels more appealing to me than working a shitty job I don't like for not enough money, and to what end? You know? So that's what's new with me, honey. What's new with you? Why is this happening in my freaking mid-30s? I'm on the phone with my grandmother the other day. She's like, you should have a baby soon. Honey, I don't have a goddamn career. Country sucks, dude. Freaking blows. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. And I guess I just talked your whole ear off for this whole vlog, and I didn't even get started on painting these damn nails. But I'm gonna go now and finish these up. But if you guys want some press-on nails, in the meantime, they're 15% off for the rest of September with code BACKTOSCHOOL. And I can also do any design you want, any length, any shape. Also, maybe in a couple months, come see me IRL. Thanks guys, I'll see you in my next video.